here. Well, we missed the Microsoft news, but I think there's been enough people talking about that in Bitcoin. Let's bring it up quickly. Why not? It's Monday. This is better than working, right? So we'll just keep going. We'll keep going. I'm sure there's people working and watching right now, so I don't want to discount you. So this says this is actually from Michael Saylor. There's a bunch of news pieces on this, but I thought this was the one worth showing on here. This is from Michael Saylor. It says, "Hey, Satya Nadella, which is the CEO of Microsoft, I believe, chairman and CEO at Microsoft. If you want to make the next $1 trillion for Microsoft shareholders, call me." And then he has a screenshot of their documentation that came out from Microsoft. It's going to be hard to differentiate these two, Microsoft, MicroStrategy. And this is what it said in the text. This is highlighted here. It says MicroStrategy, which, like Microsoft, is a technology company, but unlike Microsoft, holds Bitcoin on its balance sheet, has had its stock outperform Microsoft stock this year by 313%, despite doing only a fraction of the business that Microsoft has. And they're not alone. The institutional and corporate adoption of Bitcoin is becoming more common. Microsoft's second largest shareholder, BlackRock, offers its clients a Bitcoin ETF. But somebody in the community, in the Living the Future community, pointed out the fact that the next paragraph is just as important. It says Bitcoin is a more volatile asset at the moment than corporate bonds, so companies should not risk shareholder value by holding too much of it. However, as Bitcoin is an excellent, if not the best, hedge against inflation, and corporate bond yields are less than true inflation, companies should also not risk shareholder value by ignoring Bitcoin altogether. At a minimum, companies should evaluate the benefits of holding some, even just 1% of its assets in Bitcoin. I don't think people really understand how big that is. We're talking about Microsoft here. And this is the supporting statement for why they believe they should hold Bitcoin on the balance sheet. They're going to be voting on it in December. BlackRock is their second biggest shareholder. Which way do you think BlackRock's going to be voting for that? But understand that it says at a minimum, companies should evaluate the benefits of holding some, even just 1% of its assets in Bitcoin. That's going to be where they start, right? And so as a little experiment, if you want to do this today, just take the top 100 companies on earth, because once a couple of these companies start doing this, it's going to spiral. Take the top 100 companies on earth, look at their treasury. How much do they have on their balance sheet? How much do they have in cash or in US treasuries? How much could they allocate? And then take 1% of that. Figure out how much Bitcoin that would buy. Compare that to how much Bitcoin is available today. And then that's 100 companies. And then think of 30 million companies total on earth. It's going to get fucking crazy here. And it's not going to take very long either. They're going to vote in December. Companies like Microsoft, like this whole thing takes time for these public companies. They have so much red tape and regulation needed for decisions like this, but it's massive. Hold on, let's see what, Semler's ripping today. I told you, don't sleep on Semler, because this is what's going to happen. Microsoft's going to keep running. I think Semler's going to be like the meme coin to Bitcoin. People are going to see MicroStrategy. It's going to go from 100 to 200 to 500 to 1,000. And before they can do another stock split, it's going to be too high. And it's going to price out a whole bunch of people. And people are going to start looking into Bitcoin and public companies. And they're going to come across Semler. And they're going to say, okay, well, MicroStrategy, even though they're, the best, it costs $1,000 for a share. So I'm just going to buy some Semler Scientific instead. And then maybe Semler gets bought up by MicroStrategy. And then who knows from there. But I think Semler is very underrated purchase right now. Okay, let's see what Craig shared here. Oh, baby. This might, I know it's hard to believe, but today might be the most bullish I've ever been on Bitcoin in my life, in my journey. This is from Craig over in Zapstream, where you can share links. You can share zaps and you can share links. This is from Bitcoin Archive. Just in, Argentina, the UAE, and Ethiopia are mining Bitcoin with government resources. And that's where we're going to go. We're going to jump over here. I don't care how long the show is today. I really don't. But we're going to jump over to the second part of the show here. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about countries, including the US, mining Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Tucker. We're going to talk about RFK. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. And so if you want to join us, I'm sorry, I'm way behind in comments here. I'm going to try to catch up on some. But this is big. This is really big. Imagine a world where there's no income taxes, and it's going to happen either way. That's the thing that you got to keep in mind here, is that no income taxes are going to eventually happen. We're going to fade into that eventually. And the main reason for that is because AI and robots are going to be replacing most people's jobs over the next 5 years. And so when nobody's working, who's paying taxes? And those who are still working, it's going to be a drop in the bucket compared to the government, right? So what's going to happen? Trump's been talking about tariffs. I think governments like Argentina, like the UAE, like Ethiopia are going to start mining Bitcoin, and they're going to be using their natural resources like volcanoes, hydropower, wind, solar, nuclear. They're going to be using their natural resources and replacing human resources. The human resources have been the ones paying taxes for the last 100 years. That's us. We've been the human resources paying taxes, but it's done. So either way, I think that federal income taxes would disappear, mostly because nobody's going to be earning money from a traditional job like we have today. So it would happen either way. But the thing that really stood out for me, and the main thing that Trump's been talking about in the last couple of weeks, he said, and he said this last night at his rally, he said, we're going to fix the economy, and we're going to fix it very quickly. We're going to put some things in place that's going to fix the economy very quickly. So this isn't something where he's talking about, yeah, we can reduce expenses, we can balance the budget, we can. No, he said, we're going to fix the economy. We're going to fix this very quickly. So if you don't think that they have a plan in place of how to do this and that Bitcoin's not going to be involved in that plan, I think you're fooling yourself. Regardless of how much you like or dislike Trump, it's happening. We're here. And Bodhi says, welcome to the future. Are we ready yet? Well, I think we're getting there anyways. I think we're getting there.